waiting for it.
Thank you. Hello, YouTubers.
We'll talk stimulus, Christmas. What other issues can we talk this morning? All that and more coming up on today's Wade and Carter Show. "30 of our brethren were killed in this year. Hey, good morning.
Good morning to you, sir.
On this Christmas Eve.
It's the eve of the eve.
It is.
It's got to be a holiday in Canada.
No, that's the day after the day.
There you go.
Eve is just nothing.
Do we apologize for the fact that we're drifting towards being like Newfoundland?
Why?
Well, we're on 4 minutes after the top of the hour. We'll be on 5 minutes.
I'm sure there's a bunch of people going, where were you?
Somewhere the Hall of Famer Ralph Salazar is like, oh, I can just hit snooze one more time. Yeah. Those clowns won't be off at 8 o'clock.
Well, not with the brother man coming in a day early.
The brother man's coming in. He said, I have one for you. I got something for you. Can't go wrong when Brother Gary Moses comes to your studio every week. That's
still waiting for him to come with something.
Right place to be.
Let's do this.
The Wade and Carter Weather brought to you by our great friends at Deerland Feed. We're hopeful this morning Mr. Deerland was in the hospital. Hope that he's doing okay. Kind of had a gallbladder issue. He wasn't feeling well. We'd get that checked out. We saw Lacey yesterday. She said to tell everybody hi, tell everybody have a Merry Christmas. 64 degrees in Victoria, heading to a high of 79 under cloudy skies.
It's a cold, cold Christmas Eve.
Santa's done. He's got a quarantine in every country that he flies into. It's going to make this really difficult for him. Think about it. There's no kids listening. Let's talk about it.
So how does he? How long does he quarantine? 14 minutes?
I don't know.
There's no way. If he had to quarantine 14 days and there's 200 and some odd, he would have to start like last year.
You would think they would have given him the vaccine early. He's 300 years old. He's overweight. He's a binge drinker. You would think.
I think he was a binge drinker. I don't think he is anymore.
You like this Wade and Carter swag?
It's nice.
How about on the eve of Christmas Eve, first caller gets a Wade and Carter t-shirt. 575-9509. First call. With something interesting to say.
Judge Posey's first one in this morning, H.R. Mallory. Part of the reason we were late, H.R. stopped by, had to send service with citations.
Great to see him. He's out there working today. So if you're on the north side, going up 59.
I guess nobody wants a t-shirt.
You better ask him for the Wade and Carter discount.
575-9509. Get your Wade and Carter t-shirt.
It's unbelievable we're not getting that phone call.
Patrick Strauss, good morning. Andy Rhea Jr., Bobby Leister.
Where are my cupcakes?
C.W. Bean, Natalie Mayer. Bobby Leister says we're up to 455 YouTubers.
Good morning, Judge Posey.
Got to bring some content, too.
See what we got here. Good morning, Wade and Carter.
Morning. Who's this?
Dave
Garza.
X or double X? You're the
only caller.
Man. Come on. If you just feel like you're the first, like in Ricky Bobby terms, you're the first loser. X or double. It's your call at the holidays. Oh, he wants a schmedium.
We've got any color you want as long as it's black.
Yeah, we got black.
No, I'm just kidding. We've got this orange one. We got the maroonish red one I wore yesterday. We got this gray one. We got black. So we'll let.
There you go.
Nah, we don't need it.
We did that.
We exhausted that yesterday.
But you call me after, I'll drop it by. You bet.
Hey, we appreciate you listening. Merry Christmas to you.
Whole clan.
That's a good jumping off point. Thank you, sir.
Merry Christmas to all of them. Crazy cousins and all. You be good. All right, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye. What do you think?
So the president yesterday says,
He's hot.
I'm not going to sign this bill because
like
this
it.
ain't anything that I was asking for.
At the very end, he said that there might be some relief, and he goes, you never know. The new administration, it may even come from me. That's what he said. That's what he said.
So he said, unless you get every American $2,000 out of this bill, I might not sign it.
He pointed out some really dumb places that the left was trying. I don't care what party you're for. You can't. I always think of Peter McAnally. Call me, 575-9509. Tell me how it makes sense to have money going to Pakistan for gender studies. It has
gender equity initiatives.
Whatever. Like, why is okay? Whatever. That may be a worthy cause, but it's got absolutely nothing to do with COVID or stimulus or Americans. So I don't want it in this bill. Why can't we address what we're addressing?
20 some odd million 33 million to Venezuela for democracy advocacy, basically.
It means it's going straight to the president.
So, I mean, that's a lot of pamphlets being dropped out of airplanes.
Yes, sir.
But, I mean, let's be honest. That is the biggest waste of money ever.
Yeah, totally agree.
You have a dictator in charge in Venezuela, in Maduro, who's fixing elections using Dominion software.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter what you do in Venezuela, you're not bringing democracy to Venezuela, and $33 million lines the pockets of Nicolas Maduro, his military junta cabinet.
Absolutely.
And everybody else that is close enough to him that probably pretends to be his friend because they know if they don't,
he'll kill him.
They're dead.
They pointed out that it was hundreds of millions of dollars was going to Egypt to bolster their military. And Trump just said it straight out. All they're going to do is take your tax dollars and go buy Russian military equipment with it. They're not even going to invest back in the U.S.
And don't get me wrong. I'm still against this stimulus package, period.
Right.
But at least the percentages, if you're going to start providing stimulus relief to Americans,
give it to Americans.
The bill that was agreed upon by 4 people in a back room somewhere, one of which unelected Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, that they then thrust upon Congress and say, here's the 6,000-page bill. Go to it. We're going to vote in 30 minutes. It's basically what they did to him.
Well, they said that there's provisions in the bill, Ash, where an illegal immigrant could get up to $1,800 while an American citizen only gets $600. There's qualifications to where an illegal can get $600 for this and $600
Yeah, because the first time around, if you were an illegal or undocumented but married to an American, they couldn't get the money. Now they can.
There you go.
But at least with the president's suggestion of $2,000 for everybody, that at least takes the percentage of the dollars that will be spent in this bill to about 40% going back to Americans or to the people.
It's kind of like your salary.
Yeah, which, I mean, again, don't like it, don't want it, don't need it. Get people back to work.
You really want to do something? Take a sizable but nominal tax cut. Let people keep more of what they already earn let the tax cut benefit people and business, and more people will go back to work, and we can move on down the road. Take a tax cut. Don't just give me a gift that requires a tax increase.
Drop your 28% tax bracket to
22
22 or 25.
25. Yeah, 25 would be a blessing.
Karen Webb checking in. BJ Nelson. Chris Conrad, good morning. Jeremy Pena checking in from Baytown. Mark
Think about it like this. If you only made 20 grand a year and they dropped your tax rate 3%, there's your $600. If you make 50 grand a year, that's 1,500 back to you. I hope this is someone that can help us clear it up.
Yeah.
Good morning, Wade and Carter.
Hey, BJ, how are you?
BJ, Merry Christmas. Yeah. Oh, it is insane. There's no doubt about it. Did you see the video that Ash was listening to earlier about President Trump talking about this? He's just like, this is the dumbest thing ever. No, they're going to give it all to China anyway. They're going to trade our country to China.
I don't necessarily buy that thread about the debt being unsustainable because all they'll do if they get to a point, instead of allowing China to call in the debt and really cripple us,
reset it.
They'll reset it. They'll print more money. They'll devalue our dollar. They'll take cash out of the reserves, put it back into the market. I mean, they'll do some things that they can do that bring inflation into play and lower the value of our dollar.
But when they do that, and
it still hurts the American people.
Well, because at that point, when they do that, then the American dollar will no longer be the standard for the price of oil.
Well, it will be because everybody else will be doing the same thing. Because everybody in the Western world is up to their eyeballs in debt to China. Because remember in the 80s when Japan was the bad guy for coming over here and buying our businesses and buying our land, and we were worried about being in debt to Japan?
Why don't we just go over there and kick China's ass and just say, look, now you guys work for us? Why not? Oh, I think the United States could whip China so quick they wouldn't know what happened. I really do. Their missiles would go all over the place.
Oh yeah, we'd be tied to the Geneva Convention and charged with all sorts of war crimes by every country that hates the U.S.
I want to kill.
And China wouldn't have to face any of that.
Veins in my teeth.
So no, this bill is ridiculous, and I hope the president says nope, not going to sign it, and they can sit there and languish. The fact that we can't seem to freaking run our country and fund it to the point that we for a year, we're here every time, and it's always political. It's always the last minute.
Yeah, we run it. We have to. We
got to keep the government going. We got to do this. It's last minute. You've only known this point was coming since the last bill you passed because you knew then it was stopgap.
It's sketchy. You know, they call that a pocket.
The relief bill, yeah.
He's a very sharp guy. He's kind of ahead of his time. You know.
Ron Paul, my favorite congressman ever. Mike McLeod, very close second.
So they call this a pocket veto. The president basically just sits on the bill, sits on it. He doesn't ever have to veto it. He just lets the time lapse until the administration changes. I'll be curious to see. Now, I want to see why Joe Biden, as the man from the office of president-elect, shouldn't Joe Biden have a rebuttal comment today about, we've got to do this bill. We have to sign this bill. Did he really know? Nah. I told Lindsey Graham yesterday on Twitter, I said, $600 picks up our laundry. Come on, man. I mean, don't kid yourself. Why are you sending $1 trillion to, foreign countries?
Oh, it's ridiculous.
The president's all about, no. They just laugh about us. Go get your caldo today now. Get to Veracruz today for lunch.
Thank you.
Tell them Wade Carter sent you.
Thank you, BJ. Appreciate the call. Have a Merry Christmas.
Great sponsor. Great time to tell you about White Trash Services. 550-1826. If you call, you'll get a body. You might even get BJ right there. 550-1826. They'll come out. 6 contiguous counties to Victoria County, the 5+. They'll come out.
Holiday Beach.
Reno, Nevada, Lake Tahoe. They do it all. They've got all different sizes. They'll help you understand what size of a trash, removal you need, all the way up to a roll-off dumpster.
And they've got all sizes of roll-off dumpsters as well, so they can accommodate any project that you're doing, a remodel, new construction, cleaning out the attic, cleaning out the garage.
You call and tell them Wade and Carter sent you. They'll work with you on an annual price. You can give it to somebody as a gift. They'll put a bow on it and have it delivered before Christmas. How about that?
Nice. The Atzenhofer dealer, since 1926, when Ed Atzenhofer said, you know what? This automobile's here to stay. This horseless carriage is here to stay.
It's going to last. We saw Tommy Taylor yesterday, and Tommy showed little Rylan at our house the first Chevrolet ever sold.
I had a picture of it.
By Ed Atzenhofer to Mrs. Hipp, Hipp.
Well, actually, to her husband, because women weren't allowed to own vehicles in that time.
Or vote at that time. Or vote, 1926, people. Yeah. Well, still doing it all. They go by and order a new Corvette, go by and order a new Escalade. Hard to keep them on a lot. They've been selling them.
Yeah, they if you're looking for a new SUV, get by, check out the Chevy Tahoe or the Chevy Suburban. Now's the time to check them out. They've got a few of those in the lot.
Yep.
So the struggle right now with all the with all the GM products is trying to get them in, because they were shut down through COVID and they're barely keeping up. I think just now they're starting to keep up with the demand.
But they're stacking them deep, selling them cheap, just around the corner from high prices, just down the road from high prices.
They're on the Navarro Motor Mile.
Right there on the Navarro Motor Mile. They've been for years. If you don't buy it today, they'll be there tomorrow.
Or at Atzenhofer.com.
There you go.
Razor IT Solutions, John Paul Hull.
We saw JP yesterday.
And we heard from him yesterday. He can help you figure out the analytics side, the data analysis, all the stuff that doesn't make a lot of sense to you, makes all sorts of sense to John Paul Hall. And
he just puts all the pieces together, and he can tell you what's going on your website.
And he'll break it down into plain English for you so you can understand what's going on.
He'll rap it to you if that's what you want. He's like a hip-hop master. I don't know if you knew that. Him and Funky.
Looks can be deceiving.
Funky Trey Molina was the DJ.
But he can bust a rhyme.
JP was Vanilla Ice .2.0. And Uncle Mutt's Barbecue. Wow. Today's a beautiful day. Sometime around 11 to get by and have brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, turkey, all the side dishes, cabbage, pea salad. They've got it. Pinto beans, green beans.
You know, with all the cooking I'm going to do tomorrow for Christmas Eve and Christmas, that might be.
Just grab it.
Because I had my Veracruz fix yesterday.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was phenomenal. It was always. Might be the
What did you have? I had the Compuesto.
I had the lunch special. I had the number 6 lunch special, and it was good.
What is it, a taco and enchilada?
It was a taco and enchilada. Yep. Crispy beef taco.
It's kind of sad that I've got that whole menu memorized.
It is.
It's phenomenal food.
Well, you had the Compuestas, and you were eyeing my plate the whole time.
Sure. I just wanted some of that gruel, that enchilada gruel.
And I got the charro beans.
Sheriff Justin Marr was there. City Council member Jeff Bognight was there.
Michelle Wilson Hawkins, dedicated listener, was there as well.
Byron and Lori Burris were there. Lee and Ida were there.
Everybody was there.
Fantastic group. T-Lat was there. Dawn Nicole was there. Good morning, sweet girl.
David Glass checking in this morning.
Mr. Glass.
Patrick Strauss said he tried. It was busy. Well, that's good. The phones are busy. Good. Christina Wise, there's my daughter Tyler checking in.
I got a T-shirt the other night.
Kevin Myers, good morning to you. Let's see who else is in. Chris Ray Brissett, good morning.
Crazy.
Sheriff Andy Louderback.
An announcement about herself. I don't know what she was doing there.
Your Aunt Betty telling me to scream on. She's furious too.
Aunt Betty, it's all I can do. I medicate him every morning.
Then I get in here and all bets are off. Open up the microphones. I guess to finish up my point, about 40% of this bill now if $2,000 goes to the people directly instead of $600, 40% of this $900 billion will actually go directly to the people. As it stands right now, it's roughly 10% for easy math.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's really sad that we've got to this point where we talk about 900 billion.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're talking about each grain of sand. You're talking about a beach.
And
you're talking about Padre Island.
And here's the stupid thing with this. There's no way that if they kick it up to 2,000 a person, that comes out of the 900 billion.
No, they're just going
to raise the amount. Yep. No, it's
because it doesn't matter anyway. As Rob would say, it doesn't matter.
It should, but it doesn't.
There's Brent Goins. Good morning,
sir. Yes, sir. Richard King checking in. Trey Molina, there's the funky.
I wonder if Brent Goins in a deer blind listening to us this morning.
Probably. Your Aunt Betty says is another one of those has to be passed so you can see what's in it type of bills.
Yeah, Nancy Pelosi is a danger to this country, to the very foundation of the republic. I mean, people like that the Speaker of the House ought to at least read what goes across her desk.
Is there anything more dumb looking than her when she's standing in the House addressing?
Swilling vodka.
Well, yeah. And there's nobody in the picture.
Yeah.
She's talking on the microphone on C-SPAN and she's got her mask on. I mean, it just looks dumb. You're not fooling any. Oh, it is. You're the biggest panderer in this country.
They think it makes President Trump look bad because they're committed to saving the American people.
They're committed to looking like hypocrites.
Yep. It's craziness. What do you got? What did she say? Yeah, Ted Cruz. If Ted Cruz is against it from a legislative standpoint, chances are you should be too. He's the smartest guy in the room. He may not be the nicest guy all the time. Pretty smart. There's Heather Monroe, Munro.
Merry Christmas to you, eh?
Hey, sorry.
Bob Constantine checking in. Pat Irby.
Merry Christmas.
Your mom's in. Crystal Stringer.
That's the pickleball champion of the West right there, Pat Irby.
Patrick Strauss is can't have enough Wade Carter t-shirts.
There you go.
James Kurth, that's how many people in the U.S. I think it's around 340.
Last time, 238 million people got a check, James, to give you an idea. 238 million.
Jeff Meyer, good morning, Constable.
At 600 apiece, came out to like 1.3 trillion.
Morning, Chris Jansen.
138 billion. Anyway, whatever it was, a big number. A lot of zeros.
Kiva Meyer says, as much as I want to dislike members of Congress, Cloud is solid.
Yeah.
He voted against it. Farenthold wouldn't have.
No,
probably true.
Farenthold might have wanted that $600.
Tom Price, good morning. Who else is in here? Jeffrey Fonseca.
Pretty good group. What else you got? We got anything to talk about?
There was that. I mean, Auburn reaches all the way to Boise State to grab a head coach. He had ties to Auburn. Was I think offensive coordinator.
Harsin was our offensive coordinator a while back.
Yeah, I think he coached at Auburn too.
We fired a bunch of head coaches.
Here's the thing: you fired Gus Malzahn, who went 68-30 something in his tenure at Auburn, struggled in the conference.
Did Malzahn coach Cam Newton?
What's interesting, here's the tie between those two. Both of them were actually head coaches for a year at Arkansas State, a year apart. Malzahn and then
Harsin.
Which
Harsin was our offensive coordinator, and I think he kind of struggled a little bit.
Yeah. But you now pick up a guy that's won about. I mean, their winning percentages are very similar overall. But you're reaching into the head coach of Boise State, and don't get me wrong, I like watching Boise State play. They're a fun team to watch.
They need to get rid of that blue field. It's time to go green. That's dumb.
But Mountain West Conference
to the
Southeastern Conference, it just
doesn't translate. I think they're thinking that Harsin has some recruiting roots over there. And that Harsin.
Well, but the guy's a Boise guy. He grew up in Boise. He played high school football in Boise. He was a quarterback at Boise State. He was the first Boise State graduate to become their head coach. I mean, His roots are in Boise, Idaho.
Boise kind of in Alberta?
No, southern. A little further south.
Close to
Nice city.
Is
I mean, it's a really nice area. Yeah. Beautiful part of the country.
It's cold right now.
You know,
Probably raining.
unfortunately, a lot of influence from all those California rejects that decided to.
Columbia River?
No, I think the snake.
You mean like Evel Knievel snake?
So, yeah.
Cool.
I think. Maybe both. Maybe the Missouri's further up. Can't be the Missouri. So, but nice part of the country. But you fire your head coach in a COVID season. That really doesn't matter in the big picture, right?
Wasn't Malzahn like he was like the god? Right?
Yeah, didn't he lose in the BCS championship a few years ago?
Yeah, wasn't he from Alabama at one point?
Yeah, I think he was. His roots go back to Auburn.
Okay.
But they moved quickly, but I think in
sometimes you just need change.
Well, and then maybe that's it. In this season, though, I mean, where there's already going to be an asterisk in the mind of all fans.
Not if Alabama.
Well, not if Alabama or Clemson wins it, but yeah, if Notre Dame or Ohio State, particularly if Ohio State.
That's not going to happen.
But the usual treasure trove of high name marquee college football coaches just isn't there.
It isn't there
this year. Could you have waited one more year?
Yeah.
And not had to buy out Malzahn at whatever that number was? I mean, you
probably they're really mad at him. How can you be, when you watch what Nick Saban has built at Alabama, are you firing Gus Malzahn because he just can't compete with Nick Saban? Who can? What's his name? John Gruden could come down from, to college from the Raiders and not compete with Nick Saban. Number one, he's a outlandish recruiter, and he's an unbelievable football mind. He's a great football coach. I watched a special with him and Bill Belichick, and they were like just sitting around talking football. And Belichick's not the most exciting guy on the planet. And they both got animated. Oh, and then you just run right through that gap, and then bam! And so they're all excited. And I was like, that's what they do for a living, man. That's what they do to live. They coach to live.
$25 million.
No, there's JP Hull coming at the end. Hey,
JP, Gus Malzahn.
JP Hull at Razor IT Solutions just hacked into the server at Auburn to get us that information. I wish somebody would fire me for $25 million too, James Curtis. I'd be gone. Say you can make 4%. There's $1 million a year. I'm gone.
Now, $25 million severance is part of the reason why Congress wants to govern college football.
And the only thing that will happen is that severance will go up and Congress will get a cut of it. I think they need to leave the federal government out of sports. I can't believe that they even think they have the right to dabble. They can't balance their own budget. How are they going to mess with college athletics?
I mean, think about it. They've screwed up amateur athletics in this country for the most part.
No doubt.
Politicized it in 1980 when we kept all our athletes at home.
Yeah, that was dumb. So we're going to make a statement. We're going to do it with using these 50 people's lives.
Yeah, just because we don't want them to go to Moscow.
Yeah. Don Posey asked one of the top 5 questions. He asked who.
Yeah, no kidding.
In a little while, he'll say what, when, where, and how.
So I don't know. I mean, it's Auburn. That's the big coaching move of the year. That's kind of it right now.
Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Watch out, the folks. The roads are a little bit wet this morning. Be careful.
No fog this morning, which is nice to see, but people will still drive like idiots and end up in a ditch on Christmas Eve. And 578-6300 is the number.
Yep.
That your idiotic self will need.
I think JP's right. I think Gus Malzahn has beaten Nick Saban more than any other SEC coach. Like twice.
Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300.
The VCS companies and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer encourage you to come in and grab that last-minute Christmas gift. You need a new charger. They have these new chargers that you just lay your phone on there and it charges it right up.
Those are cool.
Throw it on there at night. Don't even have to worry about it. You can pick up your phone without having to unplug it. Or, you pick up your phone at night and you bring it to you to see what time it is. You pull the lamp off or you pull your glass of water off your nightstand. In your case, it could be a glass of vodka and maybe some lube or something. I don't know, but it could be.
Could be.
Reach out to the AT&T retailer. They'll help you navigate right there on Kerr Boulevard, just inside
the loop
off Main. Chesnick Furniture Company celebrating 100 years in downtown Victoria. 70 at this location.
Still time to get brand new furniture in time for the holidays.
Please go see Bobby Leon and his family. They've been there. He's now third generation. He's just like Tommy Taylor. They've been there forever. They've been delivering furniture, probably with a Chevy truck forever. Look, James Curtis gives a love shout out to Norm.
Norm Burgess is in.
There you go. Good morning. Norm's our best buddy, lives up in Frisco. There's Mr. Jim Hartman.
Morning to you, sir.
Came by to see you yesterday, sir. You were not in. He was out spreading holiday cheer himself.
Or manure.
Adam Sugar. No, don't stretch it. Don't stretch the bits. Unbelievable.
Pat McDonald checking in. And don't forget the fine folks at Veracruz Restaurant. Today is called a Wednesday.
Please get in.
Call a little bit ahead and reserve it. Because given that today is the 23rd of December,
yes,
I'm thinking it's going to be slam packed this morning or this around lunchtime.
They're going to be packed.
They will.
Good morning, Pat McDonald. Hope retirement is suiting you. Way too young to be retired, but I hope you're enjoying grandbabies.
Enjoy that. It was sad driving by there the other day and, the for sale signs in the window of what used to be.
Yep. Days gone by. Days gone by have gone by.
Yep.
For them.
Days gone did.
Hey, I had a buddy the other day. Some of you guys from here in Victoria may remember David Hawk. Hawk and I went to junior high and high school together. I mean, he's only 58 years old, but he worked for AEP forever, or CP&L and AEP. He told me the other day that he retired.
Nice.
I was like, I didn't know how I would feel when it's first friend I've had that's my age that told me that. I'm like, man, good for you.
There's Jeff Prosky. Morning to you, Jeff. He's on the verge of retirement.
Yeah, he and his wife Susan have grandkids, and they're going to just travel around and love on grand. He sounded happy as a lark. And then my only fear would be if I retired is to have nothing to do. And with so many insurance customers, I don't flatter myself. They can always find somebody else. Don't get me. I mean, I remind our staff every day. We sell a commodity. They can buy it anywhere. They may have to buy it, but they ain't got to buy it from you. So we work on that every day at GSM. But it is something to be aware of that. I feel like a little bit of as long as I'm still relatively sharp, I think I'm going to keep working. I enjoy working with my customers. I completed this year. I'm just about positive because I feel the pain when I don't renew one. I think I renewed certainly anything over $5,000. I renewed every account that I've got.
That's nice.
And there's a bunch of them.
That's good.
So that's a great day.
It's a good year.
Yeah.
Brent
Anderson says he's not retiring until he's 70.
So next year.
Brent, your husband thinks that your husband. Brent, your wife thinks you are retired. Leslie thinks you're retired now.
She's the one that does all the work, from what I hear.
Yeah, I think he's going to join a rock.
Yeah.
Band. Brent doesn't have a husband. Yeah, it was an experiment in college. It wasn't real. Hi, I'm Brent. This is Fred.
Stays. What happens to the frat house stays.
That's exactly why.
Oh, man.
Should have known that club was called I Felt a Dude.
NHL announcing a limited 56-game season.
Nobody cares.
Wearing my Rangers hat.
Look at that. Thank you, Judge Posey. One of the best things about retirement, the start of the day with you guys.
Thank you, sir. Really, really appreciate that. Merry Christmas to you.
So let me ask you this. If you were retired and you didn't do this radio show, would you be up at 7?
Probably.
Would you really?
Maybe not every day, but probably most days.
I wake up at 6:15 every morning. I always wondered why, when I was a kid, why, quote unquote, old people always woke up early. But I do. I mean, I used to be able to sleep. I could sleep till noon like it was nothing.
I was never a big sleeper inner. Just couldn't do it.
No, but now, wow, Pat McDonald says 6. Yeah, no, I understand.
This feed is going to quickly
Yeah. Oh, you
will quickly escalate into who gets up earlier in the morning.
Well, it'll also be, I have to get up and take my thyroid. I mean, we'll have it all. My BP medicine, I have to get up and take that.
Well, I get up at 2 for the first pee of the night.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I've got it down. I mean, we have that one of those poster beds, so I can walk and put my arm on it and swing around. It's like singing in the rain. I can put my arm on it, swing around that one, swing around the second one. It's kind of like the Apollo 13. They were going to slingshot around the moon. I slingshot around that pole, and I go straight into the restroom and do my thing. And most of the time, only half of it's on the floor. And then I turn around and come back, and I can do it all in my sleep.
You can get that little light that goes underneath the toilet seat.
Yeah.
Colors.
I'm trying to think of who told me that. Oh,
who? I mean,
no.
Can you imagine
my buddy's got one.
Thing?
My buddy's got one. Mike Guitar said his wife bought it as a joke, and he told me, he goes, I like it. I was like, that's weird.
A night light in there.
Yeah, I feel like Apollo. I feel like the Apollo, the lunar module.
Richard King says he retired from the fire department, but still gets up at 6.
There you go. Pat McDowell says Poor Dawn. That I need a T-shirt that says Poor Dawn because it just so greatly sums up her relationship.
That's what everybody murmured when she said, I do.
I told you, she went in, she told Dr. McNeil, she said, I've had this COVID thing and I've lost my sense of taste. And he goes, honey, you lost that when you married Brent. There you go. He just looks at Dawn and says, you're special. Yeah. Come on in. Let's check out your infections. Unbelievable group.
So, times are tough in Hollywood when MGM says they're thinking of selling their entire catalog of 4,000 plus films. Some of the names included the entire Rocky series is a part of that.
MGM also had, didn't they also have Gone with the Wind?
All the James Bond movies.
Who would you sell them to? Like Netflix?
Probably. HBO Max. One of those streaming services will pony up for it.
So
Amazon
that's the
Prime.
only place you would ever watch them.
Yeah.
Adam Sugar says she's so nice. I just don't understand. Let's just go ahead. It's your show on Christmas Eve's Eve. If you'd like to turn it into, Bob Constance, that's where I got those poll moves. If you'd like to turn it into trying to understand what Dawn sees in me, let's go. I'm willing to have that conversation.
MGM actually just they're selling everything. The studio, the lot, everything. They're ready to get rid of it all.
She's
oldest existing studio in the country, maybe the world. 1924.
Older than Warner Brothers.
Everett Wood, good morning.
Hey, Everett. Man, I miss that guy. He was a former drummer he's still a drummer, but he was the drummer. Scott Taylor Band. Scott's kind of gone into retirement seclusion. He's kind of like doing like a Eric Clapton when he was on heroin. Remember that he just like disappeared after Layla, after George Harrison's wife broke his heart, and he just went into seclusion and did a lot of drugs. Well, Scott's just went into real estate, but it's modern day. It's modern day.
Yeah, without the drugs and recluse and
other than that, it's exactly the same story. It's kind of like when you watch Cheers and then you watch Friends and you realize the storyline's the same, just different, more attractive people on Friends. But Everett Wood, great player. Clint Ives, so here's what he sent me yesterday. 47 pictures that were bigger than the fish I caught. His son caught a fish.
He had the macro lens on.
Yeah, his son caught a fish bigger than my fish. Adam Sugar says people are saying I'm too ugly for Dawn. Yes. No, I'm a dang good looking man. She just happens to be a beautiful woman. You just can't discount that.
Trying to see. Deadly year for journalists this year. 30 around the globe were killed doing their jobs.
Did they get the right ones?
Probably. If you're after a journalist, you probably got the right one, technically.
Yeah.
There you go. Cole beats by 2 inches and 2 pounds.
Sounds like me beating Ash.
Stick and move.
That's right.
You might be able to outreach me, but I can outrun you.
You're quick. Yeah. No, I ain't gonna chase you. That's why I went and took the license to carry class. Committed suicide with 2 in the back of your dome.
James Kerr says you got to hold out the fish in front of you with your arm stretched out towards the camera. Makes it look bigger.
Right. No, I
Thank you,
understand.
James. He knows.
We didn't do that.
Yeah.
No, we were, and I.
Or if it's one of those ones where you're holding it up and down, you kind of bend the knees a little bit. So it looks like it's closer to the ground, but it's still up by your head. That way, yeah.
I saw a video.
There's ways to do
of
this.
Little Ives catching his trout, and there is nothing much better, folks, than the unplanned, well, I don't know what's the word you would use. The kid just laughed. He just laughed. It was a nervous laughter, because he had netted a trout that was hanging out of both sides of the net, like just a big slab of, and he's just laughing out loud, which is that reaction when you're a little nervous, you're really hyped up, and it's one of the great, a true joy. He was having joy over catching that fish. Of course, I was throwing my phone. Drats, he caught a bigger fish. Great job, Clint. Father of the Year, Clint Ives, Commissioner, Precinct 4.
Have you noticed how up in arms the media is over the latest rounds of clemency? Two of the guys the Mueller probe caught, and President Trump, I think, he pardoned them.
Well,
names escape me at the moment, but what's interesting is if you actually do a little research, I think pardons and he's granted clemency 44 times.
Oh, how many times did Obama do it?
Well, yeah,
400
probably, if not more. You have to go back over 100 years to, I think, the president that Mount McKinley is named after, to find a president who was granted clemency less times than Donald Trump.
Right.
But you would think that's all he's doing on his way out is pardoning people and giving people exonerations for
anybody that
dubious behavior.
Anybody that went to jail over the sham that was the attempt to impeach and ultimately did impeach Donald Trump should be let out of jail. You got these guys that say, oh, well, so-and-so lied to Congress. And I'm like, well, they told one guy, if you don't admit to doing this, we're going to go after your son. So he said, fine, I'll sign anything. You leave my kid alone. My kid didn't even work in government. So he does, and they say, oh, you didn't do it, but you said you did? Oh, you've lied to Congress. And that's why they locked him up.
President Trump would have to grant clemency over 1,800 more times to reach the total of pardons and commutations that President Barack Obama granted.
And he's done it 44.
In 4 years.
Think about it.
Over 1,900 times in an 8-year term.
That's a lot.
I mean, we're talking about a president who's 44 times in 4 years. So basically 11 a year. I'm good with easy
15 times a month, people. Yeah. 15 times a month. Every other day, Barack Obama pardoned somebody on average.
On average.
Jeff Fonseca says he has that ridiculous, out-of-control laughter when he makes a 3-footer.
Only George H.W. granted clemency less times in modern times, 77 in his 4-year period.
Typical Republicans, though.
But you would think the way the media reacts to this stuff.
Democrats are always doing restitution.
Right? You would think the way the media is reacting to this, that this is just something he's going off the charts with the freedom and privilege he's granting, hardened criminals.
Mm-hmm.
They've sort of ignored the fact that he's actually released people who have been wrongly detained or wrongly accused. Sketchy convictions.
Clint Ives says they could go after my kids. I just wish them luck. Folks, real quick, today's a great day to. Whoa, management showed up. Wow. I see you guys got everything in the studio in one box. It's sitting right over there. You see it? I know you told people to pack up this studio. We're moving, folks. We're moving to Laurent Tower. We're going to have a better signal. We're going to have a whole. It's going to be terrific. It's going to be super. We're not doing it at warp speed, but we're going to get it done. The Gray Barn, folks, 9203 920-6803.
There you go.
920-8675-309. Call Jam and Jimmy to come over and do your next party. I'm sorry. Call Cheryl at 920-6803. Wint Services talked to Carl Wint yesterday. They've done so well with the generator business, Ash, that they've set up a new building, new offices, and hired
strictly for that?
Hired new staff just to focus on that division of the firm. Aaron went, still heads up all of it and runs Went Services, Went Electrical. He'll come out and help you with your solar panels, help you with your battery backup. He'll help you with your
generator
or your general electrical needs. They still do new and remodels, additional stuff. They do
commercial, residential. They do it all.
USA Concrete Coatings might as well put down a nice polyurethane, antimicrobial, antibacterial, harder than epoxy coating. 578 Home.
If you're building a shop, he shed, she shed.
Right.
Put this down on the floor before you get the walls up and everything else.
Absolutely. It's a no-brainer. Budget Blinds, the UPS store. There's 2 UPS stores here in town. One on North Navarro, one on South Navarro. Just down there, just north of Rio Grande. Go by and see Andy Rehot Jr. up here at the North store. Walk in. I'm going to go today. I got 2 things to do. I got a pair of waders to send back that leaked on my fishing trip.
That ain't good.
And I got a phone cover that, of course, I ordered incorrectly.
Those aren't waders when they leak on your fishing trip. Those are drowners.
They're leakers.
You get too high.
And
too deep.
It's like getting a pedicure, though, because you're walking around in you're walking around in a neoprene boot, and your foot's soaking in salt water. So every time it just sloughs off all the dead skin. That's beautiful.
I thought those little fish were in there.
That's what it was like. Yeah. I couldn't do that, I don't think. I don't think I could sit there and let
James Kirsch calls those sinkers.
Yeah, I like them.
Clayton Meyer, good morning to you.
Fortunately, I walk on water, so
well, there you go.
Just stay up top. But reach out to the UPS store, ship all your holiday stuff. I don't know why. Every time I talk about them, I think about shipping something to a soldier. I hope you folks will pray for our military that are not only in harm's way, but infinitely away from their family. I'm sure this is a very lonely time for a deployed military person. And pray for those folks. They afford you a way of life that unless you've been to other countries, you simply can't understand. There you go. Brother Gary Moses just walked in, prima donna that he is.
When you talk about shipping, I still remember those classic. Kmart could have survived if the American people would have embraced what they were trying to do early. They were trying to be like Amazon before Amazon. Do you remember they had those ads? I shipped my pants. Do you remember those?
I don't. Wow.
You could buy anything in a store, and you could ship it, and the guys stand at the checkout. I shipped my pants. I shipped my drawers.
That's nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's how
they're on YouTube.
The brother came in. He just found the magic 95.9 box. I mean, there's a box. There's a box.
It's all one box.
That's it. This morning I didn't. No way, brother. No, the talent.
I just shipped my pants.
We opened this drawer this morning. I said, Ash, hand me a pen. And he opened this drawer and he goes, oh, man. And I said, wait a minute. I said, oh, it's right there in the box. It costs extra. They rent us everything. It's a tough group. It's a tough crowd.
James Kerr said he played Santa once in Iraq, and he said you can't imagine the joy that brought to the troops.
No doubt. No, I do. I hope that everybody will take a minute today and say a prayer for our troops that are deployed all over the world.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I'm usually one of the most jovial,
Mr. Apocalypse,
Christmas spirit guys around.
Humbug. But this year,
well, when you talk to people, and Johnny Houghton checking in.
Hi, Johnny. Don't interrupt yourself.
No, talk to my brother-in-law yesterday.
No, his house burned down.
No, it was my brother.
Oh.
But, and talked to Corky yesterday too. I mean, Christmas isn't happening. They're all going to cook a dish. They're all going to meet, somewhere and pick up more food and exchange food, and they're all going to go home and have Christmas by themselves. I mean, is there anything more depressing than that?
It hurts.
Got the brother man on.
And you can't help but wonder if this was not part of the end goal of all this, because it seems like they're just trying to destroy the traditions and customs that make the Western world what it is.
There's no doubt that's part of it.
Okay.
Look at managing out there.
We got
You feel like you're a school teacher and the principal sitting in the back of your class, like you're being monitored.
We're gonna pick this thing up.
Feliz Navidad.
come on there. I got some
Feliz Navidad. All right, brother man, talk to us, baby.
All right, good to be with y'all. First, Merry Christmas, everybody.
To you too, sir.
Guys, always a pleasure with y'all. I mean that.
You're looking sharp
Well,
again.
thank you, sir. I feel good. I feel good, and we're going to make it good. All the
Hang on. There's a last show before. Hang on.
Yes, sir. No.
Oh, no. You look so good. You get over here.
Get over here. Get over here.
They want to see y'all.
Oh no, I see what he's doing.
Look, you can
There
tell
you go.
Ralph what to do on Ralph's show, but you can't tell us what to do on our show.
I'll tell Ralph what to do.
Look at you. We got you in the Hall of Famer. Y'all do battle every day.
Thank you very, very much. And it's a pleasure to be with y'all. No, I don't need to be on camera. I just need to be with y'all. That's a good thing.
Enough about us. How do you feel about us?
Judge Posey wishing you a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Judge Posey,
Oh, I love Judge. He's terrific.
he said, thanks for those 8 votes in 2000. There you go.
God bless you.
He's awesome.
Anyway, I want to mention that there's been so many people giving in our city. I mean, a list of people: Toys for Tots, HEB, Meals on Wheels, Christ Kitchen. I'm telling you, Food Bank. And I saw that Justin J. Watts Foundation on the side of that food bank truck. That Justin J.J. Watt is that $1 million.
Isn't that something?
$1 million. And we've seen so much food go out this year, and I'm glad it's happened during this time. But I mean, never have I seen that much.
So I'm gonna give you one that I believe to be true. J.J. Watt, when J.J. Watt was good, he was so good that I believe that even though he spent so much of his career hurt, still gonna be a Hall of Famer. And part of that is because he's such a quality guy.
He's a Hall of Fame.
And here's the other thing with that. His brother, I saw a stat the other night. His brother leads the NFL in the most forced fumbles or something like that in the last 3 years. Yeah, Steelers. If his brother wasn't J.J. Watt, T.J. Watt would probably have a lot more notoriety than he does,
Right.
but he's kind of been playing in his brother's shadow,
Sure.
and he may not get the respect, but he's a pretty darn good. And he's a linebacker,
monster
technically.
guy.
He's good. I watched that a little bit there.
A little more versatile because he can play down. He can come out of the 3-point stance
Yes.
and plays linebacker, but he's a pretty solid player himself.
Good-hearted too. I do want to mention Victoria West. Amanda Dubloski sent their text to us. West plays Flower Bluff, 3rd round. They've never gone past the 3rd round. None of our team, East or West. They've ever gone past the 3rd round. This is the 3rd round. We win this one, we go to the 4th round. Flower Bluff beat us, of course, earlier. We're going to beat them this time. Saturday, Alamo Stadium, 4 o'clock.
So Saturday morning, 9 o'clock-ish, they want you to meet over at West High School
Correct.
on the parking lot there. You'll see the cars. Get over there about 9 o'clock.
Back on.
And they're gonna. I just want you to honk your horns as if you're out and about on Saturday morning. Get over there, and as the buses drive by, give them the honk and give the boys a big send off.
We're going to do it. We're
It'll
gonna
mean
be
a
there.
lot to them.
Meets at 9 o'clock. They're sending them out at 9:20. They're leaving on buses at 9:20.
Now the rumor is that Mike Bloschke, he's a
He's a big boy. He can tell us.
assistant chief over there at Quail Creek Volunteer Fire Department. That
He's
they
going to
have,
line up as defensive end.
well, they have a water cannon. Have you seen this thing? It's a truck. It's self-contained, and it's got a big nozzle on it. He says it'll shoot like 150 yards, putting out grass fires and things. Mobile grass fire elimination unit. Well, they're saying that if the coach will allow it, they're going to shoot an arc of water over the top of the
Yeah,
bus.
he's got one of those trucks to do that. He's got a truck that does that.
Told him that I wanted to man that. I would turn it on the bus.
Yeah, and you know what'll happen then? Bus will
Knock
then
the bus
knock over because they're top heavy, and then they won't get there, and it'll be all your fault.
Jim Simpson just dropped the hammer on you and said that East did go 4 rounds.
Did they go 4 rounds?
Yeah, but he's pulling for West now.
All right, Jim. I didn't know. I thought that was the only one. I guess West had not been to 4 rounds.
The only way you can argue with Jim, just don't cross Rana.
No.
No.
Neither one of them.
No.
Jim, thank you for correcting. 4th round for East then, right?
Yeah, so now West, moving on.
I think those
is
pesky
gonna happen.
Brennan Bears got in the West way.
The Honey House says, Merry Christmas, Gary Moses.
All right. Thank you very much. Man, a lot of good people listening in to you always.
So many people listening. Thank you, folks. We appreciate that. We'll be here next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I want to mention.
Hopefully
also-
not the same thing. We'll have fresh content.
Well, fresh content, same week, work week.
Yes, sir.
All right, online fraud. I gotta tell you this one, Ash. This is not good, but it has something to do with pets. So I want you to hear this. I got something for you too. Online fraud, criminal activity, and this is online now. They say the biggest percentage of online fraud deals with pet adoptions and pet supplies. 24% of online.
So people are
Pet
sending
supplies and
you
pet-
requests for money
and
and
they don't
things like
send it to
that.
you, or they don't send you the pet, or don't get the supplies, you get less than what you paid for. 24%.
That's a lot of
We gotta
fees.
work on that now. We got to make sure that doesn't happen.
That doesn't happen around here. That I'm
Doesn't happen
aware of.
around here.
It's
but we don't
funny
want
to me,
that.
I heard of-
I hated to hear that though.
I'm surprised that's higher than the old Nigerian bank scam.
That's 24%. People love their pets or want help for their pets.
I heard one the other day, a guy was advertising a product called, it might have been Rough Greens. It's like a supplement to your, anyway, the guy was saying at the end of in the commercial, he says, but none of our product has any content from China. Like, just like,
We don't want this. We want to lower this thing right here.
Yeah.
And last day to foster a shelter dog or cat for the holidays, North Carolina today, they want you to pick them up, foster them so you'll keep them because that's what they want, a home for them. So,
But
you know that.
and these are very effective programs. I think it's great what Dorothy O'Connor is doing to get
I do too.
dogs out of the shelter for the holidays. Not only is it's great for the animals, but it's also great for the workers. If there's no pets in there, that their volunteers and others can enjoy the holidays as
That's
well.
right, and they have some time off too. You're right. You're right. And then I got something I heard JP and you doing back in my petition.
isn't he tough?
He's good, yeah. I know.
Great guy.
We can't go against Aggies because JP, David Hartman, all those good guys. But I did hear a little rumor. Some people called the athletic office or athletic director's office at University of Texas. Some of these big alums that I see every once in a while, they're big Longhorn fans. They want a second run at Urban Meyer. They want him to try a second run at Urban Meyer. See if he can get off of retirement.
I've been told that the comment was made that there's nothing wrong, no ailment that befalls Urban Meyer that $10 million a year won't cure.
I think so. That's what they want, a second run at him. That's what happened to some of the boys that are diehard.
It'd be a great,
What it's worth.
exciting.
What would this
moment.
be? Bowling Green, Utah, Florida, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Does he want a fifth shot at it when he's sitting on that Fox
He
dais
ain't
every
making $10
Saturday?
million bucks a year over
Or a
there.
third championship.
Yes, isn't he still making it from what Ohio State's paying him?
This
Sure.
could be his third team he wins a national championship with.
No.
I can see it happening.
Can you see it?
If he won a natty at Texas, he'd put him right there on par with Nick Saban.
It would. We get three different schools
Sure.
right there. So I wanted to push that one in there. And can you believe the Cowboys still have a chance to get to the playoffs?
Oh, they gave back.
Yeah,
Well, they got whoever's coming out of the NFC East has to win the division.
the last two, they have to win the last two. Cowboys can win the last two.
To get a
They
wild
lose the
card.
last two, and they can.
Huh?
To get a wild card, they got to win the division.
At best, they're a low wild card.
There ain't no wild card coming to the
No,
NFC
I mean,
East.
Eagle, they're playing this weekend. They have to win their last two games, and Washington has to lose their last two for them to get in.
Which is
That's
possible.
it. Which
That's
is
a crazy thing.
So anyway, that a little bit of stuff going on, boys, and Christmas week, boy, wonderful. I've seen so much. Last night, another one, Heaven's Gate Funeral Home. They had a great turnout. Toys for Tots was super. Mark Longoria and all the people this past Sunday. A lot of good stuff. And thank y'all for allowing me to mention all this stuff and doing it yourselves, helping get this.
Nevada beat Tulane in the famous Potato Bowl. The Boca Raton Bowl was a blowout. BYU crushed Central Florida.
Let me tell you
Terrible
what we're
game.
going to do, Ash. I'm going to put this together right now. We're going to get with Bob Constantine, Texas Coast Limousine.
He's good.
Okay. Bob can make this happen. When that unfortunate day happens, 35 years from now, and Brother Gary passes, we're going to put him on the bus. We're going to put him on the bus and try to break James Brown's record.
Yeah,
We're going to go from city to city.
that was.
It may just be Hallettsville, Shiner, Yoakum.
Goliad,
Yeah.
Yoakum,
Yeah,
Edna.
Edna.
Canada.
We'll just keep spraying them down with high karate and brute. Nobody will ever notice.
35 years, good. I
Right.
thought it was more.
And we'll open the front door and the back door. People can file through. We'll prop you up and just let people pay their respects.
And then I think we just lay them in state in
Yes.
perpetuity at the gazebo in De Leon Plaza.
Perfect.
That's where
And like, are you leaving us? Then the azaleas will grow really good right there. That's Brother Gary's azaleas right there.
He'll eventually rival the record of Lennon.
Right? That's right.
And many of your listeners, I know personally, they're wonderful.
Many of our listeners think that we're special.
Appreciate each and every one of them, and appreciate you guys too. You have lovely families.
Thank you, sir.
I'm not through with them yet.
No, they love you.
No, no
There you
thanks.
go. Bob Constantine says just duct tape him to a pole.
All right, Bobby.
That'd be
35 years too soon.
35
How is there not a bowl game today?
Well, there were two yesterday. BYU was 10. They're 11-1.
They destroyed them.
Yeah,
I don't think
good.
there's a bowl game today.
There's got to be a bowl game.
I'm looking. No,
There's got to be.
nothing. Tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
the New Mexico Bowl, Houston and Hawaii.
Tomorrow.
Texas on Tuesday.
Sorry.
8 o'clock Tuesday night.
I may not even watch it.
I don't know.
What's the spread on that game?
I don't know.
10.
10? Well, he knows that, doesn't he?
10. Well, I put it down here for you because I figured you're going to ask.
He knows that.
10. Well, we didn't do nothing with. Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
I think Colorado could cover
Texas.
Probably.
9 points.
Yeah. Texas is 10.
Texas.
A&M's 10 too. I saw a 10.
A&M's a 10-point favorite on Mac
Over North
Brown.
Carolina
I'll
and
take Mac
Texas 10
Brown.
point.
I'll take Mac Brown plus 10.
Yeah.
What do
I
you think?
said, well, no, you better go JP. You better be with JP.
JP, I'm taking Mac.
We got to go with those boys.
I'm taking Mac. Okay. But the Aggies are going to win.
Aggie's going to win, but it's a 10.
I'll take 10.
And Texas, they're going to win?
Oh, yeah.
Because we'll
Colorado.
talk with y'all next week, Wednesday.
I truly didn't know Colorado still played football.
I think they're what, 4-1, 5-1?
Yeah,
Something like that.
They're 5-1, and Texas, of course, 6-1.
Yeah, Texas.
I think Texas is going to take it pretty good.
I hope so.
I think so. And A&M will pull for them.
What do you think about playing?
No, this one's just for you.
Because we like beans.
Yeah.
You will
Well,
be
and I know
playing.
you like the song, but want to wish everybody who listens and tunes in every day a very Merry Christmas. Really appreciate all the support,
God bless
all that you've done for all of the efforts that we've given back this year.
Yes.
Warriors
you.
Weekend,
Price Kitchen.
Price Kitchen, the Pink Fire Truck.
We love the Pink Fire Truck.
My brother and his family and everybody that gave to help them rebuild after the fire just means a lot to me. Really appreciate everything, and just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
To all the elected officials that
We
came
helped
through our
elect-
doors to get you elected. The kingmakers.
And the one that
of our voting
didn't.
card. And the one that didn't. That was over a year ago. Thank you, Ash.
Well, there's two now.
Let it go. The wound, you just pulled the scab right off.
I love y'all.
Hey, we love you, Brother Gary. Thank you for being such an integral part of the show.
Stay with you.
Folks, thank you for listening to the most listened to hour in Victoria radio. We have no doubt that's the case. We appreciate you greatly.
It's the most listened to talk show.
Yeah.
There you go. Merry Christmas to all of you. Have a great day.
God
And
bless
we'll see you Monday.
God bless you.
Bye, folks.
Bye-bye. I was about to tear up, Ash. I was about to tear up. Thank you, man. About to tear up.
Hey, that's good. That's a good year.
It was a
good
good
up to
year.
Christmas.
Where did Lilo go? What's Lilo doing here this early anyway?
Brother, the moon is on, baby. You don't know that? The
He
moon
came
is
to get a
on.
box and like one thing and he left. He left his box. Hey, we're gonna get over there and there's gonna be crap everywhere just like there was here. It's gonna look exactly the same.
Tell Vic to get it. We get Vic.
Where is Victor?